This is BTV Business Television.
Hello, I'm Taylor Tone.
And I'm Jessica Kachachak. Welcome to BTV Business Television.
This week on BTV, we visit 4 continents to seek out compelling investment opportunities in gold, silver, critical minerals, uranium, and robotic welding.
Our customers can increase their productivity up to 12 times while improving the weld quality.
Both our projects are in Tier 1 jurisdictions.
Our group has done this before, and we're going to do it again here with success.
All this and more ahead on BTV Business Television.
It's challenging times in the gold mining industry. On average, it can take 10 to 15 years to get a mine into production, unless your asset is the past-producing Madsen mine in Western Ontario. Then, your timeline is substantially shorter.
Our plan at the moment is to get Madsen back into production in mid-2025. And we're working hard to get there. We have a number of studies to do, some more drilling to do, underground development, but our focus and plan is to get into production in 2025. It's high grade. It's in the Red Lake region of Canada, very, very prolific gold mining region in Canada. Over 40 million ounces have been pulled out of this region, all high grade. So that's the main thing. You got to go where there's high grade resources. This was a past producer. It had produced over 2 million ounces at an average grade of 9 grams. So it has a history of production. And from an infrastructure perspective, it has a mill in place, it has tailings dam, it has everything you need to build a mine and move quickly into mining, plus it has permits in place. So it's really set up to go straight back into production again.
With an indicated resource of 1.7 million ounces and an additional 0.4 million ounces of gold in the inferred category, all the pieces have fallen into place.
The difference between West Red Lake is that we purposely wanted to acquire an asset that could move quickly to production. We also wanted to buy something cheap, because when you have a combination of getting a good asset undervalued, then you can move forward very quickly, and also you play 2 markets. You play a market who people are interested in a value play, which you're getting pennies on the dollar for your asset, and also people who play the gold play. We're actually looking at this as a base for a large gold mining company, and so we've assembled that technical team with lots of experience. We have great backers, as in Frank Giustra and his network.
Gwen Preston, VP of Investor Relations, left her successful career as a newsletter writer to join West Red Lake at a pivotal moment.
Golden Runway describes the way that share prices quite reliably re-rate higher when a company goes from building a mine, which costs lots of money, to operating a mine and producing gold, which of course makes money, especially in this gold environment. So that golden runway applies to West Red Lake Gold because we are about to turn on our first gold mine. We're about to go from spending money to making money, and we should enjoy a share price re-rate on that. The mill at the Madsen Mine project is a beautiful piece of machinery. It was built only 5 years ago. It was built by the previous company, but they stumbled at the finish line. But they built a great mill, and that mill is an incredible asset for West Red Lake Gold because we are very confident that that mill is going to perform really well, and it's a huge capital investment that we don't have to make to turn this mine back on.
Drilling will continue in 2024, focusing on confirming and extending the known resource zones.
The plan is to do like 50,000 meters of drilling on the existing resource. We're doing a number of new technical studies, understanding the project and the resource, and we're actually buying capital equipment now and everything, getting ready for it to move into production. So that's what you're getting, the combination of West Red Lake. You're getting gold price moving, but also you're getting that move into production. And the combination of those gives you a lot of leverage to that gold price.
With a solid plan and the right asset, West Red Lake Gold Mines is ready to embark on a promising journey as they transition toward production. You can follow their progress at westredlakegoldmines.com. Here's another investment idea that can play a key role in any portfolio.
Industrial real estate is one of the top performing commercial asset classes in Canada and a favorite to many portfolio managers and advisors for their investors. The rise of e-commerce has fueled the growth and demand for industrial assets that include warehousing and logistics bases. Skyline Industrial REIT has been acquiring and managing industrial assets since 2012. It's built a $1.46 billion portfolio of Class A industrial assets with some of Canada's most recognized companies as its tenants. With a tightening of supply and increased demand driving rental rates in this asset class, this private alternative fund is well positioned with an occupancy rate of over 98% and a weighted average lease term of over 7 years. Visit skylinewealthmanagement.ca to learn more how Skyline Industrial REIT can help manage volatility while providing access to institutional quality real estate.
Coming up on BTV, investment opportunities you won't want to miss.
It's already in production, sitting in the midst of an 80,000 hectare project.
We'll be right back. You're watching BTV.
enCore Energy Corp, America's clean energy company, is now providing the necessary domestic fuel for clean, affordable nuclear energy. Alta Mesa, along with Rosita, enCore's other operating plant, now gives the company a reliable supply of uranium and a distinct competitive advantage.
Alta Mesa will be ramping up to the complete plant capacity, that is 1.5 million pounds a year with direct trunk line feed, as well as an additional 500,000 pound of drying capacity that will be utilized with remote ion exchange plants, very similar to the type that we're using on well fields at Rosita.
enCore managed to advance the Alta Mesa project from acquisition to production in just 15 months, thanks largely to the proven, economical, and environmentally responsible in situ extraction process, with the added advantage of being in Texas, a business-friendly, pro-energy agreement state.
By in situ, we have a much shorter permitting time, we have a much shorter construction time, much smaller capex, much smaller opex, most importantly perhaps a much smaller reclamation cost once we're finished with an area.
But the launch of enCore's Alta Mesa facility is only the tip of the iceberg for a company that's on the move.
By virtue of being debt-free and then adding 2 sources of revenue, we're able to advance all of our assets destined for production across the entire spectrum. We're working to drill rapidly in Texas at the next project for the Rosita plant, that being Upper Spring Creek. We're also quite active in the Wyoming-South Dakota border with our Dewey and Dewey-Burdock Terrace projects. As well as moving Gas Hills along and perhaps most importantly drilling out much more of the undeveloped, unexplored areas on the Alta Mesa track itself so that we can reach maximum production capacity there and even potentially someday look to expand that.
This kind of momentum has enCore thinking big.
When enCore looks at growth, we're looking at it from 2 angles. One is generic growth, that is internally, how fast we can take our current package and move it forward. And that's limited largely to availability of drill rigs, quite frankly, both in the exploration side, the development side, and of course where we really concentrate with our very advanced assets, the production side. When we look outside of the company for growth potential, it's obviously going to be focused on M&A. And that simply is a function of valuation. With our current balance sheet and revenue, we think those will potentially materialize over the next year.
enCore has a pipeline of production-focused projects to realize its growth aspirations.
We do have a number of significant projects, most notably the Dewey project in South Dakota and Wyoming, which is probably pushing 20 million pounds. Number 1 project in our pipeline is expansion of Alta Mesa. It's already in production, sitting in the midst of an 80,000 hectare project with a number of known uranium occurrences, a well-documented roll front system extending over 50 miles, and very little of that has actually been fully explored or drilled to resource definition. So our number 1 project is our current number 1 project.
enCore Energy is producing domestic uranium to fuel nuclear energy and reducing reliance on foreign suppliers in the United States, placing the company in a leadership position. The Canadian Securities Exchange is growing up. After 20 years of working with early-stage companies to provide access to public markets, it's recently undergone a significant rebrand.
The first 10 years was a story of slow but steady growth, and we were finding an increasing audience with the Canadian investment community. So the staff complement has grown tremendously, but fundamentally, the sense of the organization is exactly the same as when it started. We're servicing a much larger issuer community than ever before. The Canadian Securities Exchange led all Canadian exchanges last year with 18 IPOs that came to market. We continue to see a number of companies, particularly from the mining space, that are coming into the market. We have a strong track record of working with companies that are based in the United States, but are really too small to join one of the national markets in the US, or have elected not to accept private equity or venture capital type financing. It is all about, at this point, helping the companies engage with pools of capital wherever that may be, Canada, the United States, or overseas.
Your wealth advisor can be a key component to your financial health. So how often should you be communicating with them?
There's got to be a fit. There's got to be a fit with the advisor. There has to be an open communication style. It's important to ask how many households or clients they currently deal with, because at the end of the day, that will tell you how much attention you're actually going to receive through the course of a year or ongoing. You want to see what are the resources and the people that back up that advisor. And like in our situation, we provide an annual scorecard to our clients, showing them actually how often we've been proactively in contact with them throughout the course of a year. That proves to them that we follow through on what we say we're going to do. If you're trying to get confirmation as to what their client service model looks like, ask for specifics.
Coming up on BTV, more investment opportunities.
We believe those two operations together form a fantastic platform for growth.
We'll be right back. You're watching BTV.
Doing business in politically stable countries offers advantages such as a predictable regulatory environment. This reduces the risks associated with sudden legal changes or government intervention, while fostering investor confidence. And for Mandalay Resources, echoes one of their core values in gold mining.
Our asset in Sweden, Björkdal Mine, has been operating since 1988 as part of a massive system, a gold multi-vein system within a VMS deposit that produces close to 50,000 ounces a year and has done so since 1988. It generates a significant amount of cash, over $30 million.
VMS deposits are also rich in important base metals such as copper, zinc, and lead.
Our second asset is in Australia, in the state of Victoria, next door to Agnico Eagle's Fosterville mine. That has been operating since 1862. It's an underground gold mine. It also has antimony, which is a critical mineral. Again, equivalent, about 50,000 ounces a year. Antimony is a critical mineral. Historically, it had always been used as a fire retardant in high-end applications such as the airline industry, but it also has a growing use in solid-state batteries and especially in solar panels. And in Australia, we are the only producer of antimony.
The latest numbers for the quarter are impressive.
Mandalay Resources recently released its Q2 results, of which we were exceptionally happy with. In the quarter alone, we generated $63 million in revenue. We produced 26,000 ounces, on track to produce 90 to 100,000 ounces. We generated $25 million in operating cash flow. We generated $16 million in free cash flow. In fact, we will generate this year close to half our market capitalization alone.
Impressive numbers, even from a CEO that has seen it all before.
I've been in the industry for 35 years. I've worked for large companies, small companies, internationally, nationally, open pit, underground, gold, polymetallic. I've built mines, I've operated mines, I've even closed them down. So really, the full spectrum, a gamut of the industry. We have plans to become a mid-tier producer We believe those two operations together form a fantastic platform, lots of exploration upside, and they both replaced reserves for the last 10 to 15 years since we have owned and operated them. Our to-do list consists of 3 pillars: operational execution and excellence, organic exploration, of which we're spending over $10 million US a year, and M&A accretive transactions, be it for assets or combinations with other like companies as ourselves.
Mandalay Resources has a clear vision for growth, aiming to expand production to 300,000 up to 500,000 ounces annually over the next 3 to 5 years. Certainly one to watch for investors looking for secure cash flow investments.
While terms like world-class are often used liberally in the mining industry, Vela Silver Corp firmly believes they truly embody the standard with their recent monumental discovery in Mexico.
Vela Silver's vision is to become one of the world's largest high-grade silver producers, and we're going to do that through the development of our Pánuco-Copala district in Mexico. We've recently announced a PEA, and that's the first step into rapidly moving into production. This district is really incredible. It has some of the best infrastructure that I've ever seen in any mining project worldwide. This has high-tension power that runs over the property. It has highways, it has roads. As a matter of fact, we've drilled almost 400,000 meters of diamond drilling without ever having to build our own roads on the property. This is the best infrastructure project that I've ever seen. Closest city is Mazatlan, which is an hour away from the project. And because of that, we have a highly skilled labor force, and we have all the ingredients you need to make a low capex mine.
Infrastructure is meaningless without a valuable asset to develop. Vela's recent PEA indicates they have just that.
On average, Vela Silver will produce more than 15 million ounces of silver equivalent for the life of mine. This is a top 5 silver equivalent producer. It's one of the world's great silver production profiles, and it's in a single asset company. This PEA demonstrates that we'll be exposing shareholders to very serious upside in the silver price. This PEA represents only a snapshot in time. We've only explored about 9% of the known veins in this district, and this is really project 1. We're going to continue to produce metal here and explore this district and become a multi-generational silver producer. The recent PEA is an enormous milestone for us to move very rapidly into production. To say it's industry leading is an understatement. The NPV to CapEx ratio is incredible. I haven't seen anything like this in my career. We have such a low CapEx and such a high NPV that the project, it looks like it's going to be an incredible cash flow machine.
Vela's plan is to develop and operate the Pánuco mine themselves, and they have the expertise in-house to make it a reality.
Our board as a whole has hundreds of years of combined experience, including operating mines in Mexico, building some of the world's largest mines, and operating some of the world's largest mines. So our team, our group, has done this before, and we're going to do it again here with success.
Vela has a host of potential catalysts over the next 6 months, focused on both de-risking and expanding the project. Quantitative investing is an important analytical tool used to develop and manage a variety of investment products.
TD Asset Management has been in the business of quantitative investing for a very long time. We've been doing it for 25 years. We're big believers in data and empirical evidence, and data is at the core of the construction of quantitative models to drive those investment decisions. So there's been significant breakthroughs in AI in the last few years that I'm sure people have noticed and have heard about that actually allow us to make clearer use of AI in our investment process. Every day we're going to be dealing with millions of data points. Machines are going to be doing a much better job at processing this data and figuring out the optimal strategy to beat the market as a consequence. So unless humans make use of the machines to build those optimal investment strategies, they're unfortunately doomed to fail. That's why quantitative strategies are essential for the future of investing.
watching BTV.
Skilled trades are highly sought after throughout Canada, particularly in professions such as welding. Novar Technologies stands out as a pioneer in robotic welding and has the potential to revolutionize productivity in the industry.
Novar's spool welding robot is the world's first welding cobot designed to automate pipe welding. With the spool welding robot, our customers can increase their productivity up to 12 times while improving the weld quality. Using spool welding robot by the welder operators is a lot easier than doing this work by hand. The welder operators are removed from the weld hazards, and they're going to be monitoring the weld and only making adjustments.
The Novar team is made up of engineers, software developers, welders, and roboticists with AI automation and robotic specializations, which gives it a real competitive advantage.
With Novar's Novi autonomy package, which is the second generation of this software, the spool welding robot reaches an autonomy level where the operators can be walking away from the spool welding robot post the initial setup. This further enhances the productivity of welders by allowing them to take on a different task. We're also very excited about taking that intelligence, the perception and cognition, and giving it to other welding robots and cobots that are not doing pipe welding. We call that our NovaI, and we are very excited about that opportunity.
Pitt Metals Plumbing, a BC-based mechanical contractor focused on the industrialized construction revolution, embraced these technologies early on, achieving impressive results.
We've had huge success with these machines in quickly training younger people to use this technology and to be excited about using it because it's cutting edge. Having this technology available to us allows us to scale up our project work very quickly when needed and do significantly amount more welding inches than we've been traditionally been able to do.
Novar's spool welding robot is being used in 4 different continents across the world, from Australia to North America, Europe, and Asia. These robots have welded more than 400 kilometers of pipe, or equivalent of 40,000 hours of weld.
Novar Technologies has been recognized as one of the fastest growing companies in the Americas for 2024, according to the annual ranking by the Financial Times. Considering a covered call ETF to fill out your portfolio? Look no further than BMO ETFs.
BMO offers covered call ETFs that range from a suite of blue chip dividend-based broad market exposures, like our BMO Canadian High Dividend Covered Call ETF, ZWC, to more targeted sector-specific exposures, like our BMO Covered Call Canadian Banks ETF, ZWB. At BMO ETFs, we have the largest range of covered call ETFs to help you build efficient portfolios. Our strategies have been tested across market cycles, with many of our solutions having long track records of delivering sustainable yields to our clients. As the largest covered call ETF provider in Canada, we feel it's our responsibility to provide a fund that balances both the investor need for cash flow and the desire for growth, with portfolios that are built to last. Visit BMOETFs.com to learn more.
What I appreciate, Taylor, is hearing from the company's point of view. Thanks for joining us today. For BTV, I'm Jessica Kafrachak.
And I'm Taylor Tone. Until next time, may your portfolio prosper.